The best way to improve your hip mobility is to focus on rotation, and this is because the hip is designed to rotate. Because of our lifestyles, spending a lot of the time in a sedentary position, in a flex position, we lose the ability for our hips to rotate. So I'm going to show you a great way to improve your range, your hip rotation range, and your strength in this exercise. So we're going to come into a modified 90-90. So that's going to look like this, where you have the front leg tucked in and the back hip, knee and ankle is going to be at 90 degrees. From there, you're going to rotate your body across towards the back hip. A really good cue that I like to use is thinking about gluing your right glute towards the floor. So as you rotate, you're going to think about curling that hip joint down towards the floor. I've got some yoga blocks as props just because it helps me stay upright, but they're not necessary. You can just use your hands as well, okay? You're going to feel a stretch across here, maybe into the glute med a little bit, but it's going to be across this region there, okay? We're going to hold this stretch for 2 minutes to help open up more space in the hip. So you should be feeling that stretch there. If, for instance, you're getting any medial knee tension, I recommend closing the angle, so bringing your heel closer towards your bottom. But remember, the stretch should be on the hip. We shouldn't be feeling anything on the knee. So just make sure that foot's tucked towards the thigh. You're rotating your body, thinking about gluing your right glute towards the floor, and you're going to feel that stretch there. We're going to hold for 2 minutes, and we're about 30 seconds in. So just take some nice deep breaths and relax into the stretch. I like to go with 2 to 3 seconds in and 2 to 3 seconds out. If you feel like the stretch is getting a bit intense, like for me, I can feel a bit of a cramp coming along, I'm just going to ease off slightly. And by easing off, you can take your hands further back just to ease up that stretch. But I'm feeling it right across here, and I'm just going to breathe, help my nervous system relax into the stretch. We've got another minute here. So 2 minutes is a great amount of time to help open up space in the hip. After we've opened up that space with the stretch, we're going to go for isometric contractions. The first contraction, you're going to think about driving your foot down into the floor. Okay, so really engaging those deep hip muscles. And then after 15 to 20 seconds of driving that foot down, we're going to think about trying to lift that foot up off the floor. And because these are isometrics, there's going to be no movement. So you shouldn't be leaning or trying to actually lift that part of the body. And in this case, that's going to be the foot. That's not the goal here. The goal is just to really get some good quality work into that hip, okay? So we've got about another 20 seconds, and then we're gonna go into 1 round of driving the foot down into the floor and working the hip there. Remember to breathe as well, and you can adjust, just make sure you're comfortable and you're feeling that stretch in the hip. So we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start to drive that foot down, trying to essentially open up the hip like that, but the knee staying down. You're going to drive down no more than 30 to 40% effort. So just keep that effort concentrated. Don't let it drop off. We've got 10 more seconds. So keep driving down, keep driving down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to try and pick that foot up off the floor, keeping your body still, gently squeezing your abs, squeezing your hands into the floor. Try and lift, 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 lift. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly ease off. Now we're just going to hold that stretch for another 30 seconds. Okay? So we're only going to do 1 round. As you get more confident and comfortable with finding the stretch and really getting some good work into that hip, you can then up it gradually over time to maybe 2 rounds or 3 rounds. But for today, it's just going to be 1 round. Okay? Just nice and steady breaths. See if you can open up the stretch a little bit more. So see if you can rotate a bit more. Keep your chest proud. And remember, we're trying to feel that stretch across here in the hip, right across there. We've got another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly come out. Okay, next up, we're going to go for some liftoffs just to create more strength in the hip. So for liftoffs, we're going to face forwards now. We're going to have the hand either side of the knee. We're going to keep that 90-degree angle of your hip, your knee, and your foot. You're going to face forward. And then from there, gluing the knee down, you're gonna try and pick the foot up off the floor, and you're gonna feel that engagement right in the hip and also in that glute as well. If you find it too hard, as in you can't get any lift, just take the arm off to the side, but make sure that the hip's doing all the work. So don't just lift the left leg, or the right leg, sorry, aimlessly. Take your time with it, and big squeeze. We're gonna go for 10 reps. So 1, 2, 3, up and down with control, 4, 5, 6, 7, keep breathing, 8, 9, and 10. Slowly down. Excellent work. Okay, let's swap sides. So, might feel a bit tender like I am. So we're gonna go on to the other hip. So we're gonna start by facing forward, hip, knee, and ankle at 90 degrees. You're gonna tuck that front hip towards, the front foot towards your thigh, making sure that's at 90, and we're gonna rotate and twist, and we're gonna feel that stretch across the hip there. Okay, so we're gonna go for another 2 minutes, just to really open up space in the hip. And 2 minutes is a great point for the deep hip muscles to start lengthening, to open up more space, which is what we want, because the more rotation you have on your hip, the healthier it's going to be, and the better your quality of movement is going to be. Okay, so we're about 20 seconds in, we're going to go for another 2 minutes here. You can use blocks behind you to keep you more upright, you can use pillows, you can get creative with props, but the most important thing is we're feeling that stretch across the hip there, and we're tucking this foot right in. Okay, so we've got another 1:30 to go. Keep breathing. That's one thing that I often forget to do, is to breathe. So just try and regulate that breathing, calm the body down, and let's open up some space in those hips. The beauty about working on your hip mobility is it's just gonna really improve your quality of movement. It's gonna reduce that tightness or discomfort that you might feel, and it's gonna allow you to do activities that you enjoy with more freedom, essentially. And the beauty of working on your hips is it's going to take less stress from it's going to take stress away from your lower back and also your knee, because when we're restricted in our hip mobility, other areas of the body then have to compensate. So rotation of the hips is a must. We've got about 40 seconds to go, and then we are going to go into those contractions. So just to remind you, the first one, driving the foot into the floor, okay? And then the second one, we're trying to pick the foot up off the floor. So driving the foot down and then trying to pick the foot up, okay? So we're gonna work into the hip there. We've got 15 more seconds. Nice steady breathing. We've got 5 more seconds until we go for 15. Remember, like a volume dial, but for today, no more than 30%, okay? Effort. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Drive it down. Push, 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 push. Really work the hip, keep it there, keep it constant, keep that tension there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try to pick the foot up off the floor. This one burns. Woo. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly release. Use your pillows or your blocks and try and get into a deeper stretch. Remember, think about gluing that left glute down towards the floor to open up space in the hip. If it feels too tight and you're getting any tension around the knee, just close the angle, but the focus should be all across here in the hip and glute area. We've got 10 more seconds, and then we're going to go into liftoffs, which is going to be lots of fun to get those hips nice and buttery. So we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's face forward, so rotate. Remember, with this right hand, you can take it off. Just if it gets too uncomfortable or too intense, just take the hand off to the side. So now we're going to glue the knee into the floor. We're going to lift the foot up off the floor for 10 reps. So we're going to go together. 1, 2, 3. That's it, make the hip do all the work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Great job for making it through that exercise. We are done here. I will see you in the next one.